It's not very often that I make a video based on an actual paint job that I've taken in. And the reason behind that is just working efficiently. It would take a lot of extra time to set up all the lights and the cameras, everything that goes with producing these videos, when my main goal is just to get the job in, get it finished, get it out, and get paid. Because at the end of the day, that's what pays the bills. In this case, I decided to make an exception because I think this will be something kind of cool to show you guys. And it comes down to repairing a custom paint job. So let's dive in. There are a lot of ways you can use your airbrush, whether you want to airbrush t-shirts or you're more into fine art or you want to dive into the custom automotive world, just to name a few. This series of videos will be dealing with the custom paint and automotive field, more specifically a motorcycle. Something that a lot of people don't think about, or it becomes an afterthought when they get into the custom paint field, whether you start with a helmet or a motorcycle, whatever the case may be, they don't always think about the fact that at some point they could be asked to do a repair, whether it's on their paint job or somebody else's paint job. The thing is, not everybody that's willing to pay for custom paint is putting that paint job on a garage-kept trailer queen that is going to see nothing but shows and shows only. People like to use their stuff. Unfortunately, sometimes bad things happen. That brings me to how this motorcycle, it's just a tank and the front fender, landed in my lap. And the way these came to me is a little bit abnormal compared to the way things usually come to me. But it's here, I took the job on, and it is what it is. So here's what I've got. As you can see, the original paint scheme was the American flag. And then it got dropped, which damaged the tank on one side and the front fender on one side. This particular bike is actually owned by the Folds of Honor Foundation, which is pretty cool. Now, under normal circumstances, I would try and talk the client into a complete respray because let's just face it, that's the easiest way to repair this. Even if they wanted to keep the same layout that they already have, I can come in and recreate all of that and make it look a lot better. Or I could come up with a different design and still have it look a lot better. And I'm not one to say anything bad about another artist's work. We all have our own airbrush journey. We all have work that we look back on now that our skills have increased and see where we could have done better. I didn't complete the original paint job on this motorcycle, and I have no idea who did. But this bike has some history. It has a little bit of a backstory. I'm told it was once owned by one of the guys from Big and Rich. So they want to keep it as original as possible, only repairing the damaged areas and keeping everything else intact. With the exception of they want to add the Folds of Honor logo on the damaged side of the tank. Personally, I think it would look better if it was symmetrical and on both sides, but the client is the boss, that's what they want. Obviously, some of the repair work has already been completed as well because you see primer on these parts. I, again, am not the one who did the repair work, which is not typical. Again, it was a little bit strange how this landed in my lap. I did get to see the damage before those parts were actually repaired, and in most cases I would prefer to do the body work myself because I have more control over how much of the original paint job was actually covered in primer. In this case, I actually know the shop that did the repair work. I know they do quality work. I have no doubt that they did a good job. I'm not worried about that. It is what it is. The other downside to having somebody else do your body work is sometimes things are overlooked and missed. You saw on the front fender, I've already taken some 80 grit to the side where the damage was because there was another buckle in the fender that the other shop missed, and the clear coat was already starting to crack out. So I took some 80 grit to the paint, stripped it down, worked it with a hammer and dolly a little bit, got it straightened back out. Now all I need is a skim coat of filler and some more primer. The tank, I found another little spot that needs some attention as well. The paint is actually delaminating, and that is going to have to be addressed. So this is a big can of worms. There is no doubt this repair is going to be very difficult. Some of you may be wondering, well, why would you even take it on if you're not who originally painted the bike anyway? There's a couple reasons. For one, the Folds of Honor Foundation is a fantastic foundation. I'm proud to support that. For two, I kind of like a challenge. I may regret it later, but I kind of like a challenge. And three, I don't have the luxury of turning down work. That doesn't pay the bills. Fortunately for all of you, I think a lot of the repair I'll be able to do right here in the studio where I already have the cameras and the lights set up. So you guys will get to see the majority of this process. So what's the purpose behind this sort of introductory video to the repair videos that will follow? My main goal for this video was to tell you, if you are thinking about or striving to get into the custom automotive industry, that's awesome. I encourage you to do that. Keep practicing, get better. Here's a tip. Keep records, keep accurate notes, however you want to do it. I have a book full of very detailed notes for just about every custom paint job that I have ever done, just in case that event happens and they come knocking on your door and saying, hey, can you fix this? A lot of times we don't use a color just straight out of the bottle or straight out of the can. A lot of times we like to mix custom colors, or we've got a wash of a transparent or candy laying over a color. If you keep very detailed records or notes of everything you do, how you layer colors, the color of primer you use, the color of sealer you use, all of that will save you so much time in the event that you ever have to do a repair on one of your own paint jobs. Now, obviously, in this case, I don't have any of that. I don't have any idea who painted the bike to begin with. I don't know what system they were using. I don't know what colors they were using. I have to figure all this out on my own. Actually, I'm not going to figure out what colors they were using. I'm going to use Createx water-based products to make this repair, but I have to match all of those colors as close as I possibly can. If you look at the backboard of my easel, you can see that I've already been doing spray outs trying to get that blue matched. It's a difficult process. It makes it a lot easier if you have notes to go off of that tell you exactly how to do it. Makes it a lot faster and a lot easier. So there's more to come on this. I hope that you guys will follow along. I hope that you'll get something out of this if you're interested in the automotive custom paint industry. So until then, I'm Trevor with Wicked Art Studio, and I'll see you guys next time.